Some of you watching here may have been judged probably for your physical feature, like the color of your eye, the skin tone, the height. I have been judged for few things. Out of that, majorly, the thing that has impacted me is my tooth gap. It has taught me big lessons. So today we are going to discuss why certain people have tooth gap, what is the cultural inferences with it, related to it, and also we are going to discuss why people have insecurities. But before that, let me share a story with you. So I was teaching in a school and this incident happened during the lunch break. So the lunch break was going to get over, and this one child came up to me and she's like, "Ma'am, why do you have a tooth gap?" Since I had to rush for another class, I just simply said that it's natural and I left. But today I realized that it was a teaching opportunity that I missed. My relationship with tooth gap has been very complex. I have been bullied, teased, and said what not just for my tooth gap. I had people saying that through my gap a train can pass, a fly would enter my mouth. Some people called it Gateway of India. Some people said India Gate. Some people said Charminar. I have been bullied so much that it hurt, to a point that I didn't feel like smiling. I felt like I should hide. I should cover my mouth while smiling. And it's not easy when someone says something to you. It hurts. Words, jokes that people say, it stays with the person on whom the joke has been made. And it has stayed with me for a very long time. Let's first understand why people have tooth gap. There are various reasons why people have tooth gap. Maybe the ratio between the jaw and the tooth is less. So while growing up, somebody's jaw grew a lot more bigger than their teeth, and hence they have a tooth gap. Or between our teeth and the upper lip there is a tissue called as the labial frenum, which is attached, and when it is a little longer, it pushes the teeth a little farther, and that is why people might have tooth gap. And for me, like in my case, because my mother has a tooth gap, my sisters have tooth gap, it is genetics for me. So basically, in your family, if somebody has a tooth gap, there's higher chance that your offspring might have a tooth gap. So for me, it's genetics. For some people, they have naturally small incisors, that is the front teeth. Because of that, they might have a tooth gap. In many cultures, it's evolutionary. Basically, the arc of the teeth has been bigger for better chewing purpose, that is for better efficiency. And people who have tooth gap, they usually have stronger gums and stronger jaw. So something that is seen as a fault is actually an oral development. Now let's discuss why we are impacted by certain physical feature. Why we get insecure so easily. Insecurities do not come from features. As a child, you do not understand what a certain feature is. Insecurities comes from repetition. Somebody repeatedly pointing it out to you. Somebody pointing out something continuously 10 times, 15 times. Your brain starts making a story. And it becomes your reality. But it is not. And slowly, you start to speak less, smile less. You try to enter into that shell. Because you have a feature that is not in alignment with somebody else's idea of beauty. I've been judged for my tooth gap so much that I have been rejected by marriage proposal guys. They rejected me saying that I have a tooth gap. I know it hurts. But in certain cultures, like in African culture, having a tooth gap is seen as a sign of beauty. And in South India, people say that if you have tooth gap, you're lucky. And in France, it's called as the gap of happiness or lucky teeth. So culturally, there are so many cultures which accepts this beauty. So, as they say, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Across the world, certain features have been admired, have been loved, and people try to create it artificially. There are certain cultures which would mock it, while certain cultures would adore it. You would ask me, Rajeshwari, how did you overcome your fear and how did you start smiling so big? So, let me share the turning point of my life. One day I was just smiling at something and one of my friends clicked a picture of mine and I looked really happy and joyous in that. The tooth gap didn't bother me and I was like, I look happy here. I don't have to hide my smile. So I started smiling more. I started training my mind to smile more. And then one day, one of my colleague, and I want to name her specially because you need people like them. So one of my colleague, her name was Manjeet Kaur. She said, you have a very pretty smile. And that boosted my confidence like 10x. And I'm not even joking. And then I started smiling even more. I started believing in myself. I started understanding that no matter what, people are going to say certain things. They're going to judge you irrespective of what you do. And you have to decide your narrative. You have to decide whether you want to be happy or you want to be sad. I wanted to be happy. I wanted peace. I wanted joy. I wanted to smile. And I started doing it. You need to find friends. You need to find people who would see you beyond your physical features and who would not scar you. Psychologically speaking, our human mind is actually trained to pick up the negative things. Even if a person compliments you 10 times, we always pick up that one negative thing said about us. And we love to hold on to it. And that is where we are wrong. We must not do that. Okay, you would say, Rajeshwari, for you it was easy. How do we overcome our insecurity? First of all, you have to understand somebody else's comment is not biology. It's not science. It's just a comment. Ignore it. Don't hide yourself. Irrespective of what happens, go face the world. Replace those old stories in your mind with the fact that you are beautiful, irrespective of what others see. You have to determine and speak to yourself and say, yes, I know what I am. You cannot allow other people's narrative to decide your identity. Have people around you who are going to be with you, irrespective of what. Positive people, positive friends. And if you cannot find a positive friend, be that positive friend for yourself. Look into the mirror and say, yes, I am here for you. I know you would say, it's so easy to say it than to do it. I understand. But still, you have to try. As it is difficult for you to wake up early in the morning in this cold weather and go to work, but still you do it. That is what you have to do it for yourself. You have to wake up and speak to yourself and say that irrespective of what happens, I am here. Your features aren't your flaws. They're just a part of your story. Just a small chapter. Don't make it your entire story. Do not make people's ideology your ideology. Don't let people's words scar you. How I decided to smile, even with this tooth gap. Smile freely. You must do that. So smile, irrespective of your tooth gap.